Hello, and welcome to My Streaming Bubble, the podcast where I talk about the streamable media I love with the people I tolerate. I am your TV watching and talking host, Jen, and today we are going to get information. Ready? Okay. Carla is back in the bubble. Woo! I just did a cheerleader thing.
Let's go.
Okay. And she is back to talk about the movie, But I'm a Cheerleader. So welcome back, Carla. Hello.
Thank you, Jen. Hello. Happy summer.
Yes. Happy summer.
Yeah. That's like it's hot. That's all my brain could come up with.
Yes, it is hot. And it's like we've had the AC running because even the slightest bit of humidity just is a great discomfort to me. And last night before I went to bed, I kicked that bitch down to like 69. And I was like, now I can go to bed. And I didn't wake up like disgustingly sweaty once. So that was
oh my gosh. See, and
nice.
like that's all we can hope for.
That's all we really need.
We don't ask for much.
No.
Decent sleep and not being sweaty in the morning.
Please and thank you. So, all right. But yes, Carla is here and we are going to be talking about the movie, But I'm a Cheerleader. I totally forgot what it... I'm having a great day. There's also the whole like brain fog with perimenopause and the aphasia. Like, I'm like, that's really bad for me. I'm just like, words and things.
It's so real.
Yes. So luckily my husband understands when I just point and grunt at things. Like he's fluent in that. So, but all right, we're going to go ahead and get talking about this movie, But I'm a Cheerleader. So consider this your official spoiler warning. If you haven't seen this movie and you don't want it spoiled, pause the pod, watch the thing, and then come on back. Welcome back. So before we get to chatting, content warnings for the use of homophobic slurs, homophobia, pushing heteronormative beauty and social standards, gender roles, child abuse, and a straight RuPaul, straight in big old air quotes. An ex-gay. I about died.
So much about this movie left me feeling exactly like that.
Yeah. So what IMDb says, a naive teenager is sent to, quote, sexual redirection school with her straight-laced parents and friends, or when her straight-laced parents and friends suspect her of being gay. And what I says about this, I fucking love this movie. It's very like, it feels very John Watery, and which I love John Waters. And this movie is just a fucking hoot, and it just gets better and better every single time I see it. So,
yes,
it is written by Jamie Babbitt and Brian Peterson. It's directed by Jamie Babbitt, and it stars Natasha Lyonne, Clea DuVall, RuPaul, Kathy Moriarty, Melanie Linsky, Catherine Town, Joel McHaley. I don't think I wrote his last name right. Douglas Spain, Eddie Sabrain, Dante Brasco, Rufio.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely.
Kip Pardue, Mink Stoll, Bud Cort, and many more. It is free on Tubi, Plex, Roku. If you have Peacock Plus, you can watch it there. You can rent or buy from other streamers, but most importantly, it is free at your local library, and it is currently streaming on Canopy, which is a library streaming app, so it's free. All right, Carla, what are your general thoughts on But I'm a Cheerleader?
I love this movie so much, and I hadn't watched it until like maybe 10 years ago or so. I've heard about it forever, and I just never got around to watching it or even really like making a concerted effort to watch it. And then finally I was like, you know what? Today's the day. So I watched it, and I've been thinking about it ever since because it's so good. It's so flipping good. And, you know, every time that I get a chance to rewatch it now, I'm like, I get all excited because, oh my God, I love it so much. And it has so many people in it that end up in stuff down the line that I'm just like, oh my God, I like Melanie Linsky, whom I love so much. Every time I see her, I'm like, oh my God, I'm delighted.
Yes, I love her so much. And even though she wasn't speaking in her natural British accent, it's so funny because most of what I've seen her in, she uses an American accent. So I always forget that she's not American.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, I get to hear her speak in an accent. It's not hers, but once
I thought
again.
it was hers because she is from New Zealand.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Then
Yeah.
maybe it was. That's my mistake then. I thought she was British. But again, the only time I've heard her speak in a non-American accent was in Ever After. And it's been forever, ever since I've seen that
Yeah.
movie. So
Another good movie.
classic.
Yes.
So yeah. So, okay. Confession time. I mean, I remember this movie being around. It's one of those movies that I was like, oh, I definitely want to watch it. I would catch bits and pieces, but I'm like, no, I want to be able to watch it from the beginning. So I actually have not ever watched this until like for the podcast. I was like, this is the perfect time to watch it. And my bad, had I known the cast was as stacked, even for like the late 90s, and that soundtrack is amazing. I'm so sorry I'm late to this party because this movie is a fucking blast and I smile pretty much all the way through it. It cracks me the fuck up. So like I'm watching it and yeah, Dante pops up and I was like, Rufio.
Right.
And my husband did the same thing. He's like, is that fucking Rufio? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, Rufio, Rufio.
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, oh, it's our sweet, sweet baby Prince Zuko. And I love him so much.
It's so true. Oh my God. And the thing is, like, I feel like this is one of those movies that it doesn't matter when you end up watching it for the first time because it's aged so well. It's not one of those movies that you watch and you're like, oh no, I have regrets. No, this is just as good and unfortunately as timely now as it was when it came out.
Agreed. Yeah, there's nothing really. This is fairly timeless, I would say. Because because it's a satire on like gay conversion therapy and camps and everything. I feel like, and since it's done so incredibly well, they are able to get away with using some of the slurs that they use. Because it's done like when they're doing the first like family therapy and Graham's dad is using like the F slur and everything. But then the one guy, he's like, that is a dumbass root. I'll never know why I'm a... And it's just hilarious.
Right.
Why is it so funny? It works.
And the thing, and part of the reason why I think it works is because it comes from a place of love. You know, it's like it's deeply rooted in love for the kids who have had to go through this and who haven't had like the sense of community that is available to them like it is for the kids in this conversion camp, where they are in a way not through their families and certainly not through the camp leader, but through like outsiders who are ready to welcome them, are given the opportunity for an alternative. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing, that the sincerity of the feeling behind it kind of lets you move past those slurs. And also that they're used like in a situation where they would be used in real life if these kids were in a camp like this.
Yeah. And it's like, and I would have to even say too that in that scene with the first like family therapy, when Graham's dad uses it, you know, Mary, played by the absolutely fucking amazing Kathy Moriarty. No one told me she was in this movie. I knew like everybody else almost, but what? I saw she popped up. I was like, yes, I love her so much. But even Mary was just like, hey, we don't tolerate that language here. The leader of this straight camp and True Directions and whatnot, she's just like, even she, and I absolutely love that, because it's also saying like, even though you're in this place and you don't fit, quote, normal standards and everything, we're still not going to tolerate hate speech until they go and do hate speech to the ex-gays.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah. I
also
mean,
think goes with like the hypocrisy and the contradiction of it all as well. So,
absolutely, yes. Like the whole idea of that virtuous um aligning themselves with like the correct and moral side while also denying people their own identities and trying to keep people outside even of their group from expressing who they are, just living their lives. Like, ma'am, shut up.
mhm.
Nobody invited you.
No. Yeah, Mary is a hoot. It's real weird the things that she makes her son do in the simulation.
Yes. Oh
Like,
my God.
oh, like that was all weird enough, but then like it's so fucking weird. Kicks it up to super weird. Um, but I want to talk. Well, let's talk about Megan and Graham first, the stars of this movie. So, what do you think about them as individuals and then together and kind of their journey through this movie?
Megan is she's such a like interesting character because in part that whole like but I'm a cheerleader thing. It's like, but I dress all girly and I'm so soft and I'm not like, I don't have a mullet. Like whatever stereotypes you might have of what a lesbian is or isn't and can and can't do, she is like the opposite. So this is somebody who I can kind of see where she's coming from where she says, I'm a cheerleader though. Like how could you possibly tell me that I like girls when I'm a cheerleader? Like that's not what lesbians do. And it's like, that doesn't really matter, um, and I like how she goes through this movie still kind of with this idea in her head. And also the center itself kind of reinforces this feminine stereotype and has all of these girls do the same things that she already kind of leans into as a feminine person, but she doesn't. That's just kind of how she is anyway. And it's not until she is with she escapes and she's with Larry and oh, what's his name? Lenny?
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah,
Lloyd. Yeah,
Lloyd.
Lloyd and Larry. And it's not until she's with Lloyd and Larry and she's like, "Can you teach me how to be a lesbian?" And they're like, "There's nothing to teach, just be you." Like you already are one. There's like no how-to guide. You're already doing it. And then you have Clea DuVall's character, Graham, who is closer to what one stereotypically imagines a lesbian to be, in that she's, clearly uncomfortable in the clothing that she's wearing. She's wearing like very like girly garb, and she has, I feel like a lot of 1990s sitcoms and movies have if they're going to have a lesbian character, they're going to be more like Graham than like Megan.
Mm-hmm.
I even think of in Friends where they have Carol and Susan, that they're, kind of sarcastic and,
Mm-hmm.
That quick wit kind of thing that is more Graham than Megan. But it doesn't make her more of a lesbian than Megan. And it's also interesting to see how, this is somebody who kind of looks down on Megan at first because Megan is very clearly like fighting this whole concept while also letting herself, lean into the idea of like, okay, if I'm cured, my parents will love and accept me. And Graham seems to be like, oh, who cares about that? But then she very clearly does care.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think is not an expectation that you might have at first as you're watching the movie. You might expect her to be the one who leads Megan into the woods, so to speak, and it ends up being the other way around, which is, I think, a beautiful and delightful surprise because it really doesn't matter how you present or how comfortable you are with yourself on the inside. You still want to be loved and you still want to be accepted by your parents. And that doesn't go away just because you know who you are, even if you're willing to hide it for their sake. So the two of them together, part of the reason that I think that first of all, like, just the two actresses have amazing chemistry. I love them together. They're so good. But the two characters, I think part of why they work is Megan, on the one hand, having come to accept who she is and seeing that there's somebody who is really interesting and is, kind of stepping up to her and calling her out and stuff, but also defending her and being nice to her in other ways that she wasn't necessarily like expecting. And then Graham being like, okay, this girl is like so uptight and very clearly a lesbian, but she's also genuine and sweet and really, really caring. And that's like the through line in the entire movie. And part of why Megan is such a lovable character is that she is so very earnest and sincere and genuine. And she's lovable because she's just this bright, cheery little thing, and it's so funny that this is Natasha Lyonne playing this character and playing it so well.
Yes.
When she goes on to become like one of the most, sardonic and cynical, not people, but like she plays a lot of characters who are sardonic and cynical. And this is her. So, like the multitudes that Natasha Lyonne contains.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. Her being cast in this as Megan, there's not a more perfect choice, honestly, and that's what makes this movie one of the many reasons why this movie works so well. Because when you see Natasha Lyonne like outside, in real life or in interviews, and she's not the Megan personality, she's almost closer to like a Graham type, right? So then you have this real life kind of Graham-esque person playing the complete opposite and doing it so well. And it's just, I mean, it's so fucking perfect, and I love it, and it feels so intentional, like almost like this role was written like for her or with her in mind. I don't know if that's true or not, but it certainly feels like it was like she was meant for this role in this movie, in this comedy, in this satire, because everything is just a little too perfect.
Yes.
But I completely agree with everything you said about both Graham and Megan. Megan is she's the sweetest. She's so lovable. She's so sincere. She cares, like you said, a lot. And she's like a people pleaser, she wants to do well. She doesn't want to get kicked out of camp, or out of the school or whatever. She's got 4 weeks and she's going to graduate, like
she's
doing
a real
well.
Go-getter.
She is. And I love that about her. And I love kind of how she comes in, and what I love about her is that she's always been confident in who she is. And she didn't see having these lesbian thoughts were a problem until other people told her it was.
Right.
So she's always had that confidence, but she just didn't realize that, not everyone has these same thoughts. But now she's in a room with people that do have those same thoughts and is validated in that sense, too. So she gets to kind of continue that confidence and kind of carrying that way and still trying to do well, even in this new setting, even with this revelation of she's just like, I'm a homosexual. Right. The number of times they say homosexual in this movie is just a delight.
It's so very 90s.
So very 90s. And then, with Graham, I did not see that kind of twist with her character, and then kind of shutting down once Dad shows up and everything, and how she's not ready to kind of let go of some of those comforts, other than when she's like away from him and she can be a little bit more free to be herself, like she was when Megan first got there. But then Dad shows up and he's like, no money, no college, cutting you off. And I'm not saying that it's like a materialistic reasoning from Graham. I think it's just, for whatever reason, she lost her mom. Her mom's not in the picture. And maybe even with this abusive, crappy dad, that's all the family she has left. She doesn't really have
Yeah.
friends. And the thought of losing some sort of like safety net in that kind of way is absolutely terrifying. And then when you're threatened with that in such a aggressive way, it's like, and then he's just like, when we get back from France or whatever, he says her, but I'm pretty sure he meant like him and stepmom. I think it was just a weird flub of the tongue. But either way, he doesn't care, but she's still trying to appease. And then you have Megan, who's always trying to appease. But then once her parents come in, I don't doubt that her parents love her and they think they're doing the right thing. Obviously, they aren't. But then to come in and be like, well, if you can't be straight, then you're done. We can't have you back. You're not a good Christian, yada, yada. And Megan is willing to throw all of that away. She comes from that loving, supportive family. And she's like, you know what? This is actually really toxic. I'm actually kind of better off. So this whole kind of flip with the characters. And I love it because it's not what you would have expected. I love seeing this character in Megan going from kind of in the closet and then like pushed out of the closet and confronted and then being like, yeah, I'm good with this.
Right.
and then Graham and Clea DuVall has always been gorgeous, but I just want to say that in the scene where they go to sneak out, she wears the shit out of that outfit.
Yes.
Like if this movie was anyone's gay awakening because of Clea DuVall, I completely understand.
Yeah.
She looks
for sure.
so good in that. So as an aside.
It's a very valid aside because it absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like what you were saying about Megan and her accepting herself when you would think it would be not that because she is a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
That, the writing is so good because of that, because it doesn't rely on I think this kind of character, because of their upbringing, would be this way only. It allows her to have an inner strength that I think a less good writer would have just been like, no, it has to be the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love the direction that they took with the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so then at the end, it's so cute because it's the big graduation day and Megan goes to go get her partner, to get her girl, to get her love. And the only way she can kind of get Graham to like snap out of it is to do her little cheer in her little cheerleader outfit. And all the graduates are wearing their like pink dresses or blue suits, which I love that they have this like plasticky sheen look to them because like that is so on the nose. I was like, well, that wasn't subtle. And that's not a critique. I absolutely love it. So for anyone that may have missed it, here it is. They're being packaged. They're plastic. They're being put out there to fit this, idea of what is like normal. Just utterly beautiful. But then when Graham kind of snaps out of it and she goes running to Megan, all I could see is like pink and orange. And I was like, now, according to Reddit and Wikipedia, this movie was not the inspiration for the lesbian flag, but it also does not say that it isn't.
Right.
So,
make of that what you will.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, but that was like the first thing that popped in my mind. I was like, they're the lesbian flag. I was like, is that where they got it from? It's not, but it's fine. It all came from Tumblr, so it's kind of the same thing anyway. So. But yeah, I love those two. The graduation, and it's Megan that's doing the grand gesture of love and putting herself out there and everything. It's perfect.
Oh, and it's such a beautiful little sweet cheer. Like, oh my God, it's so flipping cute.
It is very sweet and very sincere. She's just, oh my God, I love those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I want to talk about Mary and her son, Rock. Because again, super fucking weird, but I love Kathy Moriarty. When she popped up, I was like, it's Montana Moorhead. Because I love Soap Dish. You'll never make me hate that movie. I know that there are aspects that have not aged well, like some of the transphobia stuff, but it is a fucking hoot on soap operas. Again, stacked cast. So when she popped up in this, and also, she's in like Casper and I guess Raging Bull too, but
Whatever.
No one's heard of that one. No.
Who cares about that one? Like, let's talk about the real things like Casper. I mean, legit, who was not in love with Devon Sawa and Christina Ricci?
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, but,
Yes. That was...
They were goals.
Yes. Oh, 100%. So adorable. But yeah, Kathy Moriarty was... I honestly can't picture anyone else in this role other than her, because she's got the looks, but she's also kind of scary.
Yeah. 100%. Because, there's something about her that is so perfect for this, because, and that's the thing with like the antagonist roles in this kind of movie, is that they have to really go for it. They can't do it in a winking way where it's like, I'm in on the joke. They have to really commit to being awful people. And she does. She commits to being an awful person who is also incredibly creepy about her son, which, you know what? Whatever reason they had for making that choice, it was honestly spot on, because there are so many parents who sexualize their children so early to the point that like, how many parents are like, they have like a 4-year-old and they're like, when she's older, I'm going to be sitting at the porch with a shotgun to ward off the boys, or like, oh, that's going to be, this person's going to marry that, my kid's going to marry that person when they're older. And it's like, this is a toddler. Like, let them grow up.
Yep. Yep.
But she's like the epitome of that kind of culture where your child, you want your child to be this one thing and one thing only, and they can only be this thing. And if they veer from it in any way, like, you tighten the reins. And the way that she does is, first of all, she keeps him like on hand constantly. Like, this man is clearly old enough to be like in college, and here he is mowing the lawn at his mom's awful camp, and simulating sex with like these
young girls. They're like,
yeah,
because Megan's only like 17, so I imagine these girls are going to be somewhere between 17 and 19-ish, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like, you don't find that a little creepy? Like, I'm sorry, but like, to the parents who send their kids to that kind of camp, how is that acceptable? But your kid being in love with like this, somebody somebody their age in their high school is unacceptable, but sure, let's let this stranger fake hump your daughter on this bed while they're wearing, fake loincloth, fake, like Adam and Eve style things. It's so flipping weird. But she is like that. She's like she's not even like a boy mom, because a boy mom, I think, no, maybe she is, because all you need to be a boy mom is to love your child enough to be creepy about them. And she seems to cover both of those requirements, so there you go. But talking about her son's love muscle, like, no, nobody needed that. Nobody needed that to happen.
No.
And yet it did. But Mary being this, oh, and by the way, her name being Mary,
yes.
like, talk about like a very religious name. So she's leading the children to being perfect people. And the whole idea of a Christian mom being the creepiest mom. There's something so spot on about it. Yeah.
I mean, truly. And it's like, so like with Mary and her son Rock, and for I imagine a lot of families, parents and their kids and everything that come out, it's about it's not only accepting them for who they are, but also letting go of your expectations of them. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's necessarily anything inherently wrong with like having a daughter and then dreaming about her getting married, having kids, as long as you're not pushing it on them. I think
Right.
it's fine to kind of want that to a certain extent. But if you can't let go of that once, or just accept that, you know what, she will have a wedding. It's just going to be with a different type of partner than I originally thought.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
that's when you get these parents like Mary. She could not let go of whatever expectations she had for Rock. And, no matter how many times she's told him, chug, don't sip, and then making him chug his like pina colada or whatever. Like, that was mean. And
Yeah.
you can't
And so
savor
wasteful.
the
Those are
delicious.
expensive.
Yeah. And then to continue to push that and then force him in these situations where I feel like it's still her being very manipulative and trying to push him to be straight.
Yeah.
Like, here, you have to participate in the simulation with these students, even though you're not a student, because I want you to maybe be straight. Get your love muscle up there next to their burning bush. And I'm so sorry. I don't feel good about myself.
Oh,
So, but Kathy Moriarty for this role was, again, I honestly can't. Perfect. I can't picture truly anyone else in all of these roles, honestly. I think everyone was just too good. So,
yeah.
All right. And then, okay.
Spot on casting.
Agreed. And yeah, and then again, the soundtrack was fucking amazing. It is so 90s with like the indie girl rock bands and everything.
Yes.
I
Oh
loved
my
it.
God. It just, I loved it too. It's just very, very markedly of its time.
Yeah.
Like the music is just very, very much of its time. It's not a complaint because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But you even if you watch this movie with your eyes closed, you're like, okay, so I know when this was set.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Because especially whatever the end credit song is so 90s girl band. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Oh my God. RuPaul as Mike.
I loved RuPaul in this. Again, perfect casting because, I forget whether this movie was before or after Tu Wong Fu, because RuPaul was also in Tu Wong Fu, just like a very tiny little moment.
Wearing the best dress.
Yes.
The glittery Confederate flag dress.
Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. But RuPaul RuPaul is always having a moment, but definitely having a moment in that era. But perfect casting because you need somebody that if you know who RuPaul is, you can be like, wait a second. RuPaul is playing a supposedly straight man. And I know that that's not true.
Yes.
But it also even sells harder the idea of what this camp is because, if you see RuPaul acting like a supposedly straight man, then wow, this camp must really be about it because, clearly they've gone out of their way to find somebody that they were able to really quote unquote turn. But that's kind of like the whole thing with the movie. They got so many people in this that are just like a total coup of a casting. Sorry, I raised my hand again. Of like a casting choice. And definitely like you I wonder if, because I'm a lot more aware of RuPaul now than I was back then. If back when the movie had come out, I had watched it and would I have known who RuPaul is? Maybe not, outside of, because outside of drag and outside of the performance, I don't know that I would have recognized RuPaul.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly do now, but at that point, maybe I wouldn't have. But I think it's like, it's just also important to the film to give it the legitimacy, because you do need to cast people who are out
Mm-hmm.
when you're able to. And certainly, Natasha Lyonne has come out as straight, to the shock of everybody on the
I'm
planet.
so proud of her. How brave. I'm
It
sorry.
must have been so hard. It must have been so hard, because like streets have it so hard. But yeah, like especially in the 90s, you didn't have a ton of people who were out. And I'm pretty sure that RuPaul was. So that like adds kind of a legitimacy to the whole thing, where you're like, okay, this isn't a character or a movie created to punch down on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is really to like highlight the ridiculousness of homophobia.
Yes. 100%. Yeah, when when RuPaul pulled up in that van and was like,
Yes.
I'm Mike and I'm an ex-gay, and wearing the straight is great shirt. And it's like right away in the beginning. It's like one of the, it's you see it like right away, and it's so perfect, because if you didn't already have an idea of what kind of movie you're in for, that should have told you everything. And so I'm watching it. My husband's kind of watching it with me. And I was just like making sure he knew. I was like, that's RuPaul. And he's like, oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? And because I don't think he's ever seen RuPaul with like facial hair or really outside of drag. Maybe interviews when he's wearing glasses and kind of all dressed up, but not as this character.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree. Casting RuPaul, casting someone out, is definitely gives this movie the legitimacy of the ridiculousness of what all that conversion bullshit is.
Yeah.
And because then, yeah, you have RuPaul like, I was an ex-gay. Like, no, you're not. Or I'm an ex-gay. Like, no, you're not.
Right.
Stop lying.
Because I feel like with a lot of movies that are satire and very, to us, clearly satire, there are people who will see them as like genuinely like, oh, well, this is telling you why you should go to a conversion camp, or why you should do conversion therapy. And this movie makes it very clear that no, it's a ridiculous concept from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
And they waste no opportunity to really highlight that and to drive that home.
Yes, like his straight lessons for the boys,
God.
and like trying to chop wood, and the one like lobs it just straight back over his head. I fucking died. But then Mike's trying to tell the boys like, oh, when you chop the wood, you can't like jump up and down and clap and go, yay! You have to stand there manly and, like grab your junk and
and spit and all that. It's like, oh my God. Oh,
so I love
so
how they
funny.
play around too with like these hetero stereotypes and the gender roles and everything of what men need to do and be and all of that. Like I completely understand how this is always like in the top 5, top 3 queer movies that have continued to age well, that stand the test of time, that is still iconic, because everything about this movie, I'm pretty sure we've already said it a couple times, is perfect.
Yeah, it really is.
And, and it just chaps my hide that it only has a 6.9 on IMDb.
I don't. You know what? I think there are definitely people who don't get satire. Oh, yeah. Not even on a I don't understand it level, but on a satire is quality filmmaking level, and just see it as like being too facile and too on the nose. And it's like, I understand where you're coming from. At the same time, the reason why it's so good, you need to have movies like this. Not everything can be complex and layered and nuanced. Sometimes things need to be really ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, what I'm getting at is that it's probably the snobs
Oh,
It's the
100%.
snobs that are out there.
Yes. Not everyone gets satire. And I fucking hate how every fiscal year the internet has to go off on a fucking hissy fit about Tropic Thunder and not understand that it's fucking satire. And the whole
Right.
point of RDJ being in blackface is to poke fun and make comment on the actors that go too deep into their roles
Yeah.
and Hollywood's casting choices. Like instead of some movies maybe actually casting an actual out gay person, they'll cast a
Hmm.
straight person to play all of that. They don't if they don't get that, I can't have conversations with them.
Exactly.
That's my
Exactly.
standard. Is if you don't
Yeah.
understand Tropic Thunder is a satire and can't appreciate what it's saying, then we can't be friends.
Right. And
Plain
I
and
mean, I
simple.
will definitely, like 100%, especially with white people. I don't want to hear from white people. Like, I get maybe you're trying to do the right thing, but have you listened to the black people who are like, no, this is a good thing actually, and
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense for this and for what it's trying to say.
Yep. Yep.
You
And
know, because
like,
I've seen, sorry, but I've seen some like white people like try to argue with black people about like when they're like, oh, I think that it's great, and they're like, well, no, and it's like, well, why are you arguing with a black person about it? Like,
yeah, shut up. Maybe be more upset about like Jack Black's character and the
yeah,
portrayal of the overdrugged and overconsumption of that wealth and that status and everything. So we probably just need to do a Tropic Thunder episode. I'm surprised I actually haven't yet. But I feel like it's come up in enough episodes where people know where I stand. I've already
if you
covered
just
it in
clip
bits and pieces.
together, if you just clip together all of those, you'll have a full episode and then some.
Yes. Oh my God, that'd be a lot of work. Um, But the last thing I'll say about Tropic Thunder is that when it's the line where Robert Downey Jr. is talking and someone says, you people, and he's like, what do you mean by you people? And the actual black actor is like, what do you mean, you
Right.
people? Is the funniest fucking thing.
It is so perfect because that is the perfect encapsulation of what that whole performance is about.
Yes, 100%. So, all right. Back to so going from blackface satire to gay satire back to but I'm a cheerleader. So what did you think about the Larry and Lloyd and Megan calling them the Harriet Tubman for gay kids or something?
Right.
It's like the gay underground railroad. I about
Yeah.
fucking died. But I
Because
love this idea that that these guys are out there and they're just like, hey, just so you know, you don't have to do it's like the Rumspringa for
right, for the Amish.
Amish. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and see, because like the way that I saw it was more like a almost like a halfway house,
Yes.
you know, because they are. It's not like they're putting these kids up indefinitely, but they're giving them a safe place to go to, and they're just letting them know, hey, we're here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they can't necessarily feel particularly safe living so close to Mary and to her camp, but they're there and they don't necessarily hide themselves from Mary or from the camp. Um, and they kind of make it clear that, hey, what you guys are doing over there is wrong. If you feel like breaking away from that, we'll give you a safe place to just be yourself until you're ready to be independent. So they're giving them what their parents aren't,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and what their parents should be giving them. And you have, you know, people like Graham's parents and even Megan's parents, where Megan's parents are doing the same exact thing as Graham's parents, but they're doing it speaking more softly,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't change anything because that kind of harm is still harm. You're
Yes.
still telling your child that you will cut them off and cut them out of your life if they don't conform in this very particular and narrow way. And, you know, Graham's fear, what you were saying earlier about, you know, which I agree with, that it's not about Graham being spoiled for not wanting to lose the comforts that she has, because it's not, it is comfort, but it's also access to a way to make her own life. Because if she doesn't have her college paid for, then who is going to pay for her college? And how do you, in the 90s, we still had the idea that you could educate your way out of poverty,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So how is Graham supposed to make it, so to speak, without that backing? If she doesn't think that she has any other way to pay for college, what the hell is she supposed to do? So she thinks she has to follow through, at least play it safe until she's out from her father's control. And then maybe when she's in college, maybe she can do the whole, supposed experimental thing. And maybe once she has a degree and can have her own career and her own income, maybe then she can completely cut herself from her father's expectations. But what these guys are offering is the opportunity to just start now with your life and not defer your real self until you feel safe to do so, because you're safe now with them. And they're not offering to be their parents, but they are offering them the basics, which is shelter,
Mm-hmm.
and community,
Mm-hmm.
which is the other thing that I think is so important that a lot of these kids maybe didn't have until they met these guys, where they have community with themselves, within each other, while they're kind of cowering in fear of Mary and of the repercussions of not going on the, pun, straight and narrow. But here they have the chance to, like Rufio, to put on rainbow pajamas,
Yes.
and feel happy just existing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one thing that's absolutely terrible about these conversion camps and the conversion therapy idea, or even just the idea that you can pray away the gay, or therapize yourself out of homosexuality or of any sexuality that isn't hetero. It's that you're cutting off a part of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you are cutting off the access to other people who are like you and who feel that you are fine the way you are now, that you don't have to become something idealized by some dusty book that your parents read in a group full of dusty people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that, I think they are a huge part of why I love this movie. It's just the idea that you can find elders who will look out for you,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're unfortunately maybe not the people who raised you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The whole kind of like found family
Yeah.
and getting support. And yeah, like you said, the kind of the elders, the older people to be there and be the support that maybe they didn't get either. So they kind of know what some of these young kids might need or what they're looking for. And yeah, I love that it's like you said, like a bit of like a halfway house, a place for them to kind of stay until they figure it out. But yeah, Rufio was so much happier and so much lighter and
Yeah.
free. And I think that's part of what gives Megan that confidence as well, is because now she's gone from her, loving parents or whatever, to a place where they're telling her that everything she thinks and feels is wrong, to now just being like, hey, you're good here. Just
Yeah.
be you. Be like, you are a lesbian, so just keep being you, and that's how you'll be a lesbian.
Yes.
And for her to hear that is probably a gigantic fucking deal, because now it's like, oh, so I don't have to do anything. I just exist and I just get to be me. And yeah, so I love what those guys kind of represent and everything, and their quote like
Mhm.
little fight that they had and then like immediately make up, and it
Yes.
was just
Oh,
like
the
so
way they
cute.
made up. It's the
Yes.
way they made up. Like they spoke to each other with actual words and they listened
Mm-hmm.
to each other. They apologized to each other and they accepted each other's apology. How is that for modeling really good grown up behavior?
Right? And for 1999, grown white men to like be able to do
Yes.
that, gay or straight, like, wow, like they were talking
Yeah.
like therapy talk. Like,
Yes. And like, and we could get into this whole thing about how now, uh, you know, cis men have weaponized, cis straight men have weaponized therapy talk. But like in that movie, it was perfect.
mm-hmm.
Absolutely perfect because they were sincere in their, trying to reconcile with each other. It was
Mm-hmm.
so beautiful.
Yes. And I think, and again, for these young kids to see that and have that kind of modeled in front of them is exactly what they need. And then, and again, Megan to see that and in front of her to be, and then also give that probably her, my God, to see that and to give her courage to continue to stand on her own and go after Graham. Wow,
Yeah.
that was really hard. but I made it. We got through it.
Yay!
So in talking about gender roles and expectations and stereotypes, let's talk about Jan. Because
Please, yes.
yes, go ahead. You go right on ahead.
Yeah, because Jan, I think, was a very important character. And even though there's like that one little moment in that one little scene that was like a split second and then it was over, but it was so important because you're talking about gender presentation and sexuality as a concept in presentation also, where, this is a straight woman who is just told, but you have to be a lesbian because look how you dress, look how you sit, look how your body behaves. And she's like, literally though, like I like guys. What am I even doing here? And the idea that, again, you can only be straight if you look and behave like Megan, and yet Megan is not straight. Why do the people around her not immediately understand that, oh, okay, there are multiple ways to be a woman? And that's, as a tall, large person, I can't tell you how many times I've been standing in line at a grocery store and somebody's like, oh, excuse me, sir. And they're like, oh, right, sorry, ma'am. Because, I don't necessarily like dress femininely frequently. But there are expectations of how a woman should dress, even standing in line to just grab a head of lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not constantly performing femininity, then you're not a woman. And it's not even just the way that she looks, it's the way that she sits. Because she says there's that scene where they're having them like cross their legs very demurely, and she kind of like just throws her leg, her foot over the other leg, and it's like, that's it.
Yep.
That's how I'm sitting. But yeah, like why should it matter? And this is where you have like so many people who refuse to believe that somebody like Ilona Maher is straight. Ilona Maher, for the people who don't know, the people who either have never watched women's rugby or have never watched Dancing with the Stars. I'm not somebody who watches Dancing with the Stars. I only watch the clips of her because I think she's fantastic. But she's a straight woman who just happens to have a more supposedly butch presentation, which is neither here nor there. She's just a large, muscular woman who plays a very rough sport and plays it exceptionally well. But because of how she looks, people just assume her sexuality. And what sense does that make? What does her body type and the way that she carries herself have anything to do with her sexual preferences? Absolutely none. And you have somebody like Gianmarco Soresi, who is a comedian. He's a stand-up comedian. And he is, he has been, oh my God, the way that people refuse to believe that he's straight because he has a supposedly more effeminate presentation, it's ridiculous. Like, he's telling you that he's straight. he's telling you he loves theater. He's a huge musical theater nerd, and he is just whatever. The way that he sits gets analyzed.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he moves on the stage gets analyzed. What does that matter? Why are we, first of all, what do you care? Whose business is it?
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, extrapolating that beyond these two people, you're making a lot of assumptions, and you are trying to make people fit into these neat little boxes, and that's not how humanity works. So for Jan, in that very small moment that this movie touched on her and how she looks, I think was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there had been a little bit more about that. There wasn't, and whatever, 1999, that's okay. But especially having recently watched, I saw the TV Glow. Like
Mm-hmm.
it also makes me think of if those characters had had the support that these kids had available to them. Obviously not with the camp.
Yeah.
with with Larry and Lloyd, the outcome might have been different.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I hope that Jan was able to find the support that she needed to just be told, you're perfect the way that you are.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how you're dressed. It doesn't matter that you're tall and angular. Like, who cares? You're just you.
Yep. Yeah, I loved that we had the Jan character, and yeah, I wish we'd gotten a little bit more, especially after she kind of runs off and everything. Like that's like we're just kind of done with her. But that could also be intentional in terms of she doesn't fit True Direction's ideas, so they are literally done with her. There's no afterthought, no aftercare, no like nothing. Um, and you're right. It's such a small moment with her, and in their like therapy session or whatever. But like the emotion that actress had, and like her eyes are welling up and everything, and it's like there was, and not to say that this moment doesn't have any sincere moments, there are, but this I felt was definitely one of the deeper and more sincere moments when she's just like, just because I like to play softball and I like to dress this way and look this way, she's like, I still want dick. And
Right.
and then you have Mike all like, but you were abused as a child, so clearly you're a lesbian.
Right. Oh my God.
So,
yeah.
but I felt that even for such a small moment and kind of a smallish role, that Jan's character, I thought, kind of has a larger like presence just in that scene of itself, because again, it's challenging heteronormative ideas of what women and girls should look like, behave, dress, be into, and that our past does not necessarily determine who we love or who we're into or attracted to. And Mike making that comment and that assumption, again, I think goes along with what a lot of people's assumptions are. It's like, oh, you're a lesbian? Then yeah, you had to have been abused, or you have to have daddy issues. Because then it's almost like, well, for women, it's like a choice. It's like, no.
Right.
Right? Like, it's kind of weird in that sense.
It's so reductive. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And oh my God, there was this article. Okay. So there's this channel on YouTube, Anna Marie Forcino. And I think she's the one who covered it. There was an article in the New York Times by this woman who was like supposedly an ex-lesbian, somebody who, oh no, that's what, she's bi, and she decided to only date men. And she decided that now she's straight, something like that, something ridiculous like that, where it's like, oh, you can just choose men. And it's like, okay. That if that's what you decided for your life, sure. It's not a choice necessarily for everybody. Like some people don't want men, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, why are you just go look for Anna Marie Forcino's videos. They're so good. And she really like she does a much better job talking about this than I'm doing right now. But the point being that sexuality is not a choice. So sexuality is just part of you. And yes, sexuality can be fluid. Sexuality does not have to be static. There are people who are absolutely sure that they are gay, and then they're like, oh wait, maybe I'm bi. Or people who are like, oh, I think I'm straight, and then much later in life they're like, oh wait, I think that was maybe never true, or maybe it's not true now and I'm not sure why. We're asking too much why, instead of just accepting who we are in that particular moment. If this is who you are in this moment, that's okay. And you don't have to have a why. You don't have to therapize the hell out of, why did I become, like, you just are.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole root, what was your root of
Right.
becoming,
Yeah.
and Graham's like, my mom got married in pants, and everyone's like,
Which is so funny.
brave. And my husband's like, what the fuck? Because he's like making dinner, so he's kind of in and out of the room. So he's like, the fuck's that have to do with anything? and then Mary telling Megan what her root is, when Megan's like, well, maybe it was this. And then Mary just being, that's exactly what it is. And this is how you feel towards your family. And Megan's like,
Right.
I don't. She's like, your father was emasculated. Your mom's domineering. They're not. We found your root. Like,
exactly.
No.
Yeah, but people are always trying to make sense of other people. Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's fine. Because humans, we want to make sense of things. We want to understand why this is or isn't or has changed and is now this. That's a very natural human response to certain facts. Like, I don't understand this. I want to understand it. That doesn't mean that, especially if you're talking about somebody outside of yourself, that's something that's not an avenue you need to pursue. Mm-hmm. If somebody shows up and, if you went to high school with somebody and they were swearing up and down that they're straight, and then you see them at the 20th reunion and they're like, oh no, apparently I'm bi now, and I didn't know that at the time. Why would you question that?
Right?
Who cares?
Exactly.
What is it to you? Like, in what way is it affecting your life? Were they like, was this person married to you? And now they're like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm not attracted to you anymore because I realized I'm no longer. Outside of that, like, what business is it of yours?
Right. I truly believe that people that have issues with stuff like that, or with trans people, it's because they categorize, and I'm talking specifically about straight white men, but this can apply to straight women as well. But they have to categorize people into fuckable and non-fuckable.
Yes.
So then when you have a trans person, like a trans woman who is absolutely gorgeous, then a straight white man gets angry because now his wiener's confused.
Right.
And since the wiener's the one that does all the thinking,
suddenly it's like your brain no longer counts.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that.
No. So that's always kind of been my thought process. So anytime people have a problem with, well, you don't look this way and that way, or you don't behave like a straight girl or whatever, it's like, calm down, because they probably weren't going to fuck you anyway.
Right.
So
exactly.
That's
like, have a seat.
Yes.
You're going to be okay. Oh my God.
Don't
real,
worry.
though.
There are plenty of other people out there that don't want to fuck you too. So
heaven forbid. But yeah, and there's, speaking of another YouTube creator, Cat Black. Mm-hmm. Cat Black is a Black trans woman, and she posts a lot of content about being trans and about people reacting to people who are trans. And she had a couple of videos out about what it's like dating as a trans person and how people will fetishize. It's like that shunning or fetishizing thing. Yep. Like, which one is it? Yep. And when is it like a sincere attraction and all of that? And it's all because people get way too caught up in what makes people who they are, and what you were saying before about like, can I sleep with this person? It's like, I don't know, like, do you want to?
Mm-hmm.
And does that change based on personality versus what's in their pants? And how much does that actually matter? Because for some people, it does actually matter. And for some people, it doesn't. And they're limiting themselves because they have this expectation, or they have this sensitivity to the perception of what they should be attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, we complicate things way too much as humans. Like,
I agree. I agree.
just be
We should,
attracted to the people you're attracted to.
yeah. I was about to say we should all just be golden retrievers, but that works too.
Same.
Oh, yeah. And, and again, this movie, it's so funny, and it definitely has its sweet moments with Megan and Graham, but it has so much to say without being like too, I guess, like in your face about it, or like everything that we've been talking about, they have presented in a way that is entertaining and kind of light and fun,
Yeah.
but it's still present and allows people to have these kind of conversations. And I think that's what makes this movie, what is it again? Perfect. So okay, let's see. Anything else that you've got? Because I'm sure you do.
I always do. But this time not really, because you brought up something, exactly the thing about Jan and gender presentation. I was like, I need to talk about it, and you brought it up, so I'm like, yes. And the movie is only 82 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not even a long movie. So I think the fact that we're able to get so much out of such a short movie just kind of speaks to how much, well, first of all, how much it's needed,
Mm-hmm.
but then also to its quality. I was talking earlier about how, not every movie needs to be complex and layered. And yeah, this movie is very in your face, but it does have nuances and complexities in it, and stuff that you can dig up out of it. But I think the thing I just really want to talk about is how much I love that the cheer at the end. And you contrast that with the song that she's forced to write, because
Mm-hmm.
Mary has her write a song about how great it is to be straight or something like that, and it's like, oh my god, this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Don't ever make me listen to this again. But you contrast that with how, and mind you, I'm not saying it's a quality cheer. Like, don't enter that into a competition, because you're gonna lose. But if you're just talking about sweetness and sincerity as a gesture of love at a time when everybody was obsessed with grand gestures,
Mm-hmm.
like think of When Harry Met Sally, or what, Say Anything, those like big moments where it's like you show up at the train station or you show up with the boombox. She shows up with her pom-poms.
Yep.
And the thing that makes it even more special is that Graham had told her, I would love to see you cheer. And it is so sweet that, like, she's like, yeah, that's right, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to see this anyway. And I'm throwing caution to the wind. I'm throwing myself out there in a way that's very public. And it works. And it works after she had already been told, you know what, I don't think I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave it one more go in a way that was just stunningly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so disarming, It's not, because the thing with the showing up at a train station or bringing that boom box outside of that girl's window, it's more forced. But she is a cheerleader. That's been a huge part of her identity for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets to do this to not even just for herself to, bring her love to her, but to kind of save her love from throwing herself at the mercy of the heteros.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't have a whole hell of a lot to add because yes, it was sweet, it was perfect. It works because like you said, being a cheerleader is a part of who she is, part of her identity. She didn't want to miss the big game and have to go, and miss out on the donuts and the bus ride and everything. And, and then watching it when like for the first time and when Graham's like, "Oh, I'd love to see you cheer," and not knowing kind of the direction these characters were going to go in, I was like, well, we're going to see her cheer at some point for Graham. I did not expect it to be that moment until it got to that moment when she's like, I've got to try one more time. I was like, she's going to cheer for her. And she comes out and it's the sweetest, most sincere show of emotion and how much she loves her and cares about her and how she chooses her. And it works so well because as a former cheerleader, first of all, I have to say that everyone's form is terrible. I'm sorry. But in that moment, it was fine because she wasn't at a competition. So for her to just kind of even just do the moves and do the motions, it was for Graham, so it's fine. But man, those girls
dying. You're sitting there with your like your little scorecards, like that's a 3.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just like, tighten it up, sharp, crisp movements. You don't overextend your arms when you go out into a tee because when you're performing in front of a crowd, that looks stupid. You actually have to keep your arms a little bit forward because even though that looks stupid up close, it looks amazing from afar. So it's like theater and makeup.
Yes.
But I was just like, there are some loosey-goosey arms. I was like, oh my God. And the pom-poms, like those are not good cheer pom-poms, plain and simple. So that's my cheerleading fact check corner now.
My God. I love that we got that fact checked thanks to you. Because otherwise,
you're welcome.
A whole bunch of people who are now going to go and rewatch that scene are going to be like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yes. They weren't crisp. It wasn't a tight routine. Like, I don't know why they think they're ready to go early to the state game, playoff game, whatever. But, I guess, they're not Texas, so it's fine.
This is like Iowa or something. Yeah, like, who cares?
Exactly. Hey.
I'm kidding. I was waiting for that.
That's where I did all my cheering. Oh, man. Yeah. Bring It On does a really good job at proper cheerleading representation.
Do they? Oh, my God.
Pretty much, for the most part. Jazz hands, spirit fingers were not something that our squad ever aspired for. So I get it.
Wow.
And I lived in a small, pretty much white town, so there was no black squad to go up against. It was just the East Side
There's
town.
Nobody to go copy off of.
Exactly. So. What is it when they parody that in one of the Not Another Teen movies with like Jamie Presley and they straight up do the chair and they're like, we're black. And you know black. Was one of the best.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Did you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Miraculously enough, no.
Okay. All right. Just a couple of things that I had left was at the end when Megan's deciding to go get Graham and Rufio's like, she might be making the wrong choice, but it's her choice to make. And I love that line. And because it says a lot, you can't stop people from living their life and doing what they need to do or what they feel they need to do or should be doing. You can't intervene in someone's journey.
Yeah.
And if this was going to be Graham's choice, then that was going to be part of her journey. And because of that, now Megan is a part of that journey too. So it all worked out in the end. But I just thought that was such a great line because it might be the wrong choice, but it's her choice to make. And
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people need to kind of remember and keep that in mind. And then kind of going back to when we were talking about Megan's parents versus like Graham's dad, you know, he's so aggressive and in your face. So Graham kind of has always known where she has stood with her dad. Whereas Megan's parents, like she was blindsided with all of this. And, you know, when we were talking about how it's abuse is abuse, it's still harmful. And it's even if it's done with a smile. And it's almost like a hate with a smile is so much worse and scarier because you never know where you land, never truly know where you stand with those people. And they can just turn on you on a dime and just let go. Doesn't matter if you're their kid, who you are to them. So it's like, on one hand, I respect Graham's dad for just telling us who he is right away so we can avoid it. And we'd be like, okay, so you're a piece of shit. Whereas, you know, Megan's parents, you're like, oh, you guys are so sweet. Your mom's being stole, you lucky thing, you. And,
Right.
you know, but I mean, even in that prayer in the very beginning and the dad's looking, you know, at Megan, you know, and living a normal life and expectations, like that's so much worse.
Yeah.
It's like with a smile, like, I love you, but I don't like you.
Yeah. You're going to need to change, or otherwise you're going to have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And them's the breaks.
Yep. So, all right. Well, I think that's all I have for Stray Bubbles. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on to the Midwest goodbye. And this is the beginning of the end. And we've done our whelp knee slap and we're going to stand at the door and we're going to keep talking and like hanging out and going on tangents and stuff. So up first is The 6 Degrees of Nicolas Cage, where we connect this movie to Nicolas Cage in 6 steps or less. Why? Why the fuck not? Carla, how'd you do?
Well, I started with Clea DuVall, who was in Zodiac with Brian Cox, who was in Adaptation with Nick Cage.
Very good. I went with Kathy Moriarty because I just kind of had to. And she was in Soap Dish because obviously that's why obviously with Elizabeth Shue, who was in Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage.
Love it.
So great movie, but also I hate that movie. Leaving Las Vegas.
I'm
never watching that again. Anyway. Like he's amazing in it. You know, you get like not a cagey Nick Cage, but you get like a legit Nick Cage, and it's so fucking good. But her character, it's so heartbreaking. So
noted. Won't be watching that anytime soon.
Yeah,
I don't want heartbreak right now.
No. All right. And up next is what's been streaming in your bubble. So Carla, what else have you been watching or reading? What else have you been up to?
Well, I've been watching a lot of Smosh because it is my comfort channel. Mm-hmm. And I love it so much. But my son has recently gotten into Smosh, and we've been watching them play a card game called Flip 7, mm-hmm. which is such a fun game, by the way. But they have a few videos where they play it, and they become progressively more unhinged as they go. And it's so funny watching them crash out when they're like losing. It's great. And also, you know, part of the reason why I enjoy watching it is because then I don't have to read the rules for the games.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do better like watching somebody play a game than like trying to read a rule sheet.
Oh yeah.
So it's like entertainment plus the rules. So there we go.
Yeah.
And I've been reading Anna Konkle's book, The Sane One. Anna Konkle is one of the writers and stars of the show Pen 15, which was such a good show.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God. Uh-huh.
That show, one of my favorite shows. So she wrote a memoir, and I'm only like maybe a quarter of the way through, but it's very interesting seeing her relationship with her parents.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, very cool. I guess for me, well, I'm almost done with the audiobook Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. So that was pretty good. I've enjoyed that a lot. I'm kind of at the epilogue, so it's like whatever, 5 more minutes left. And then I just got through Libby, Angel Down by Daniel Kraus, and I just finished like the first chapter, and I'm like, where did I get this recommendation? And it's not because it's bad, but I'm just like, this is kind of fucked up. Like, did I get it off one of like the book talks, like fucked up books that I've read? Like, I need to stop doing that.
That's how I felt when I read Tender is the Flesh, which excellent book. But I was like, oh my God, this is so messed up. Like, why am I reading this? It's really good. It's really good. I'm just like, whoa.
Uh-huh.
Like, I also don't remember where I got the recommendation, and I'm like, what messed up person put this on my like line of sight?
Exactly. So, well, I wrote down a bunch of horror authors a while back when I got the book Why I Love Horror, and it's an essay. All these horror writers submitted like essays on as to why they're into horror and whatnot. And so in that book, before each author's story, they give other author recommendations. They're like, oh, if you like Grady Hendrix, then check out this person. So I'm guessing it was from there. It's either that or like horror book talk, because if I'm not getting the book recommendations from like you guys, then apparently I'm getting it from randos on the internet. So it's been, like I said, I'm only like one chapter in. I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
Then I strongly recommend that you avoid Tender is the Flesh.
Oh, see, but now I want to. Like, that's the thing when people are like, oh, this book fucked me up. It's so traumatizing. I'm like, let's see. And I'm like, You're right. I'm sorry. I doubted you.
Again, excellent book.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent book. If you read it and you hate it and you're like, who the hell will read this book? Pretend that I'm not the one who suggested it. Forget that I suggested it.
Noted.
It was not me. I don't know what you mean, Jen. I never heard of this book.
You're just like, what? I don't read books. I don't know what you're talking about. You crazy.
Books? What is that? What a weird word.
Oh my God. And then I'm rereading The Salt That Grows Heavy by Cassandra Caw, because I kind of forgot I already read it. And as soon as it started, I was like, I've so fucking read this. But I remember I liked it, but I was like, well, I'm waiting for other audiobooks, so I'll just re-listen and revisit it. And I love her. She's such a great writer. She knows how to write gross things very, very well. Her use of the word sinu is just perfect. She uses it quite a bit, and I'm not even mad about it. So that's what I'm reading right now, because it's summer reading, so I'm trying to get my bingo. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm also just kind of in comfort watch mode between horror movies and Sailor Moon.
I love it.
I'm a very complex person.
I love Sailor Moon.
I do too. And it's so great because like I only watched it in the 90s and like the Americanized version. So I don't know a lot of these later seasons and the storylines. And so kind of, because like Samsung TV, live streaming TV, has a Sailor Moon channel. And there's something very nostalgic about flipping through channels and then just landing on something and then watching that for a while until a commercial, and then you switch to something else and you watch that until the commercial and you're like, oh yeah, I was watching something else, and you go back to it. So it's been kind of fun because I catch a lot of the later seasons just kind of randomly. So I don't really know what's going on, but again, I think it's a lot more of a nostalgic channel surfing until commercials and all that stuff. So,
Oh, I love it.
yeah, it's so great. But all right, that is going to do it for us today. Thank you, Carla, so much for being here and joining me on this conversation with this in this conversation. We want to.
Yes, I have enjoyed joining you for this conversation.
Why don't you go ahead and let folks know about OK real quick? Because I also forgot to mention that at the beginning, but I'm sure folks know. But take it away, Carla.
Well, OK Real Quick is a podcast that I host by myself. So if you want to hear me talk about random things that I'm into, I promise there's only so far one Smosh episode, then you can join me there. You can hear it wherever you found this podcast. I also have, forget the social media. I very rarely use it, but if you want to look for it, I guess you can. Just look for at OK Real Quick Pod. And I have a website called carlatemis.com, which is CarlaTemis.com. And there you will find links to the podcast. So boom, 2-in-1.
Awesome. Very good. One-stop shop.
Boom.
It's all about like efficiency.
Efficiency, yes.
Yeah.
I'm here to simplify your life.
Thank you. She's here to simplify your
welcome.
life with her Snackcast. So.
Yes.
All right. So I want to thank everyone for listening today. And until next time, keep streaming. Goodbye.
Bye.
If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to let me know by rating and reviewing on a podcast player near you, and by sharing your favorite episodes with your friends, family, and mail carrier. Then be sure to follow me on all your favorite socials like Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Just search My Streaming Bubble and I should pop on up there for ya. If you have suggestions on what I should stream in my bubble next, or you want to be tolerated, send an email to mystreamingbubble@gmail.com. Looking for merch? Stop by my Redbubble store where you can find and buy My Streaming Bubble stickers, hats, shirts, and more. You can also head over to buymeacoffee.com and, well, buy me a coffee. Need more podcast me in your life? Then be sure to check out my other podcast, Twin It to Win It. That's a monthly podcast that I co-host with my podcast brain twin, Erin from It's a Fandom Thing, where we test our twinningness by trying to guess if we both feel the same way about different horror movies. You can find and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. And most importantly, you can listen, rate, review, and share from most podcast players. Thank you for your support and keep streaming. Goodbye.